I played Lords of the Fallen, but my girlfriend made every decision for me. And it sucked. I really got a stick.
Put it immediately.
Oh no.
Get rid of that spear. Put the stick in. Yes. Yes. Yes.
I really
Much
have
better.
to fight like this
I
now.
prefer this.
I mean, it didn't exactly suck, but it was way harder than I expected. Probably because she doesn't have any clue about the game, plus it was my first playthrough and I'm at best average at souls-like games. No! So yeah, it was definitely an experience. One which I probably should have done as a second or third playthrough, but it is what it is. I did it and here I am, showing you with the little sanity I have left how I did it. But for this to work there have to be rules. Of course there have to be some. Otherwise what kind of challenge would that be? I would just float through this game, I would imagine. But the rules are pretty simple. I play, but my girlfriend makes every decision. But what decisions does this include? Well, at first of course the starting class, then all my level ups, then which armor and weapon I will use throughout the game, and if I should change them at some point, and of course the throwables and consumables. There's only one exception, and this is I can keep my heals, because I need them. So you know, this is something I have to do. But enough is enough. Let's go to the character creation.
I don't know. Condemned is pretty funny, but it just seems like it's gonna make your life horrible, which is kind of funny.
The condemned.
Yeah, like he had a tough life.
Are you sure?
Is this you right now?
This is me right now, yes.
Okay.
I mean, look at the stats.
Oh yeah, I didn't even read.
He's
Nine,
like all 9s and then go to the next. He has like I don't know how many levels I have stats. But it's fine, I play the condemned.
Yeah. To get your own crits.
That's the worst decision you could have made.
Really?
I don't know, maybe not, but I think...
I feel like
if the-
Udi Rankere werewolf is pretty horrible. Not even real werewolf, just a werewolf. So we need to make him look condemned, right?
He had a hard life. So.
And he wants to speak to the manager. Goodness.
That is a condemned mouth.
That is one condemned mouth. Yeah, like we kind of... But I don't want to make him look like someone you wouldn't root for. I just want him to be... Yeah, that's good.
Of course, she picked the contempt. Otherwise it would be fun? Question mark? I don't know. But it was fine. So I started playing and getting through the intro, smashing enemies with my broken buckets. And I even managed to kill the tutorial boss on my first try. Hooray! Good job to me. But other than that, nothing special and extraordinary. Just some more smashing and a few deaths until I found my next vestige, only to realize that I already picked up a few weapons and equipment and gathered some souls. Which means it's time for a decision. So I turned around and of course she's not here. Of course, I start playing the moment she has to go out and I'm home alone. So I had to improvise, big time. And I sent her a picture, or rather a few ones, and waited for her answer. And while waiting I thought, okay, I will just have a quick look around, exploring a little. Nothing crazy here, just letting my inner explorer a little bit out. But this basically just ended in me fighting this mini-boss here a few times, dying, losing all my vigor and having to refarm my 3 levels again. What the fuck? But it is what it is. I made myself a coffee and just waited for the rest of the time. And at some point I finally received her answer. So my precious souls, aka vigor, went into some vitality and strength. Then my weapon got an upgrade, question mark. I honestly don't know if the wooden cross is any better than the buckets, but both seem kinda trash. But I could be wrong, since I still don't have any clue about what is considered good stuff in this game. For my armor I got a complete makeover. I basically turned into a blessed half-naked introvert who likes showing his condemned swole legs. Amazing. My enemies can only run now, right? Right? I don't know. It didn't feel too bad. I was ready to fight some mobs and test this equipment out. And it actually didn't take long and I saw the light at the end of the tunnel. Pieta, the first real boss encounter.
And one I cannot brook.
Pieta, me, my 2 left hands and a wooden cross. Fuck yes, the Battle of the Giants. A combination which would create a blockbuster, endgame-like. Not content-wise, only the duration would match, because it took quite long to finally beat her. So I was quite optimistic at first, as I thought how difficult could be a first boss be, but then death. And then I learned a lesson. I just suck at this game. But after like 10 deaths, I think I at least could say that the first phase was a cakewalk. I basically could beat the first phase without receiving a hit anymore if I concentrate enough. It was basically just a dodge, 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 hit, hit and repeat until she transformed into the more annoying second phase. And oh boy, that took a while that I learned the movement of her. I'm getting closer, but not close enough. But at some point I finally did. 18 deaths in and I managed it more often to close up to a 1/4 of her life left. And I became optimistic, almost like I really could beat her. And then this happened. On attempt 22, an amazing gameplay by me. No! Oh, one little rock, why didn't you throw, man? So yeah, the next 2 attempts were like a little bit post-traumatic effect where I just died pretty much immediately. But then at attempt 25, I finally managed to beat her. God! Fuck yes. Finally. And honestly, it was a nice feeling. I don't even know. It just was a nice feeling. Fuck yes, thank you. So after that, I needed a break. And as if the game heard my prayer, I finally reached my new home, the Scourged Bridge. Basically just the area where you can travel back to and do some stuff, interact with some NPCs, upgrade your weapons and so on. Once there, I took a little break and a tiny tweak in my stats and equipment took place. First off, I got 4 more levels. Fuck yes.
That is exactly what I want. A tiny, small, sad man.
You are my randomizer.
Yeah, okay, then we remove them from indifference. We put 1 more into strength. You can use 2 crosses for now, but let's show the armor. I want to see the armor.
The armor.
You just take off his head. I prefer that. Well, yeah, I want to see his gorgeous little face.
I'm perfectly prepared for the next area, but if I'm honest, not prepared for what came next. On the new weapon. Could I keep the spear?
Like, to be honest, with those weapons, I'm curious for the ones that are still coming. Later on, I want him to have like a huge stick. Bonk.
I gave, but I know it doesn't.
I got it. I really got a stick.
Put it immediately.
Oh no.
Get rid of that spear. Put the stick in. Yes. Yes. Yes.
I really
Much
have
better.
to fight like this
I
now.
prefer this. Thank you.
I got a stick. I got a beautiful stick. Honestly, I just knew. The moment I got it, or just it appeared on the screen, I accidentally fucked up. I shouldn't have spoken to this NPC. But honestly, who would have guessed that 10 seconds after she says it would be funny that I play with a stick, I actually get one. That's just destiny. I mean, what else should it be? And otherwise, fighting big and strong enemies with a little stick, sign me up, that's just way too hilarious. So I kinda got as powerful as possible at this point. I wouldn't cross plus a stick, resulting in only needing like 5 hits for the weakest enemies to kill. I mean, what else could I ask for? But who would have thought that this isn't the part that would break me in the following areas? It really was gravity. I can't tell you how many times I fell off this cliff along here, lost all my vigor, trying to get it back and just fell off again to ultimately lose it all. Yes, I have 4 levels again. But with every loss, at some point you win. And my win was that I farmed a little bit of vigor again, so I got a few more levels and a new armor. And with my precious new equipment and levels, I managed to fight my way through this area and finally meet a lovely sister, which is the next boss in this game. And fighting her, I must say, was quite easy, but somehow I still managed to die 11 times to her, which honestly I will just blame my impatience for, because I was just impatient, there's nothing else to say. But who cares? I managed to beat her from the beginning, which is just a dodge, dodge, hit, maybe a second hit if there's time, and then again, dodge, dodge. I just had to be patient, but that is something which doesn't always work, because basically all my deaths to her were because I wanted to get in that extra hit, and yeah, we all know how this goes in games like this, but it doesn't matter. At some point in this attempt here, I managed to do it until the bitter end, just being patient, just dodging and getting 1 or 2 hits in, and it worked. And after that, I of course received a little present. Okay, should I swap this for this?
Yes.
And after that, the best area in the whole game came to me, the Pilgrim's Perch. This is where it gets really funny, because the falling down gravity just gets intensified, because here there are enemies, you will dodge and you will just fall. And even if you dodge and not fall, then there comes an enemy from the side sprinting at you and just pushing you down, and I don't know what to tell you, but this is just no words for this. So let's just pretend this area doesn't exist. But you know, even though gravity is my biggest enemy here, I shall not be the only one who suffers. So at some point, approximately after 20 deaths to these stupid bucketheads, I realized, hey, why don't I use gravity to my advantage? So I did. Oh, which made my journey a little bit easier, because I didn't have to hit them 20 times to just make 1 kill. So what is the main takeaway from this chapter? It is just horrendous. But guys, if I learned one thing, if the chapter takes your sanity, there must be a final, stupid designed boss which gives you the rest. And this brings me to the fantastic designed Gaverus, Mistress of Hounds. A boss designed by dogs, literally. Because fighting a boss while dogs keep chasing and attacking you, isn't that fun? They spawn without an end in sight. I mean, what the fuck? What is this? I mean, maybe the dogs here wouldn't be so horrible if I did at least some damage to them. But if I need like 4 or 5 hits to just kill 1 dog and then they're spawning again and I can't even hit the main boss once or twice, how should I be able to beat it? So I realized pretty fast I have to ignore them and just go for the mistress itself, in a hope to dodge every other attack from everyone else. And it absolutely didn't work out. The double attack with the cross and stick was just too slow and basically insta-killed me on every attempt, because each time I attacked I got like 2 enemies attacking me, so I couldn't even dodge anymore. So I had to think. And I had time, because the runtime from the Vestige Seat to this boss was a whole journey on its own. But that's another story, the ones who played it will know. But after a few attempts I had to change something, and so I did. I pressed triangle and two-handed my weapon, which made it possible to attack way faster and dodge after I made a hit. So there was a light at the end of the tunnel. And honestly, I don't know if it counts as cheating, as I didn't use the stick anymore in this fight, but in the moment I didn't realize it. But honestly, my nerves got wrecked anyways with this stupid ass dog, so please do tell me if this is considered cheating or not. I asked my girlfriend after the following boss after this, because she wasn't home yet, and she said it was fine, but honestly I just think she is too kind to say something negative. But it is fine, it is what it is. But enough of this. Attempt X, and I fucking did it.
Fuck you, man. Stupid dogs. Oh my goodness.
And I felt no pleasure afterwards. I just wanted to run away from there. And so I did. And I was in a pretty good situation now. Got another boss, some more levels, and a new vestige for making a rest. Amazing. So what would be the next move? To level up, right? Well, as I said, my girlfriend isn't home right now. So once again I sent her a message and I thought I'd just go a few meters exploring what's coming next. So I just have a little bit of a picture in my head. But of course not so far, so I don't lose my well-earned vigor and my levels. And yeah, you know, that's always the thing here. I don't know what I expected. But the one thing I didn't expect is to just go 10 meters after the last boss and finding this new vestige to just fall down the abyss and having to fight a ball of flesh. And of course losing all my vigor down there, so I have to fight him, so I don't lose everything. So yeah, this was the next boss fight, without any more level ups. Amazing. But don't worry, because I remembered one thing here. I have to press triangle and dual wield the stick and cross again, for less damage and a more enjoyable experience, I guess. So let the fun begin. And honestly, this fight was even more horrendous than the one before. Not only does this thing one hit kill me with almost every attack, no, it also has like an endless amount of HP. I mean, probably not an endless amount, because I'm just doing no damage. But what should I say here? So after a few deaths I found a strategy which I kept till the end. I just had to stay as close as possible to his leg and if possible behind him, because then I just have to dodge a few attacks. And this worked quite well. The only thing which really got me was the endless battle. At some point I just missed one or two dodges and it was over and I had to start again. I think my concentration wasn't enough here. Maybe I should have taken a break or something. But that was fine. The thing which most of the time really got me, that was the moment he introduced me to his stupid jump. And honestly, it's not that hard to dodge, but somehow I almost never got the timing right. And I don't even know why. And of course, this attack is just a one-hit kill. So yeah, I just died to this most of the time. But yeah, that basically sums up this whole fight. No damage, almost getting insta-killed every attempt, and at some point, I don't know, with a mix of skill and luck, I managed to go to my precious amazing attempt. And I did it, finally. And honestly, I didn't feel any pleasure anymore. It was just like a burden which fell off. So I finally did it. Excellent. And things looked really good now, I thought at least. Because I got my lost vigor back and even the new one from the new boss. So I have lots of level ups for me. So this is gonna be a power spike, at least I think. And I also found some new weapons, so hopefully I get something more enjoyable to fight with. But fast forward to my next vestige, I just took a break and waited for her to be home again so she could make a decision.
Okay, so what's radiance? Level it up. Bam! Yeah. Shield and stick, right? Impurity grenade. Sure. Lacerating knife. Oh yeah, no, I don't. Wait, what's that? I kind of like that.
Honestly, deep within, I just cried. The level's almost a complete waste, and the stick and the shield to fight with. That's just look. Just look. I need like 7 hits to kill those absolutely garbage enemies. How should I be able to accomplish anything in this playthrough? The only thing I thought was, okay, some people do like a fist-only playthrough. I don't even know how this works, but it's fine. But my main thought was, how should I kill the next boss? I'm doing no damage, I suck, and I'm just gonna die I don't know how many times. And with this thought, honestly, I just ignored this area. I basically have no memory about this whole scenery here, except that I cannot kill shit and die every few seconds. So I did what every gamer would do, and I just ran through. Ignored everything. I just wandered out. And it worked. Of course it did. At least until a certain point. Which in this case would be the next boss fight, the Hushed Saint. I didn't know it at that point, but it should be one of my worst fights in the whole playthrough. I mean, I basically have a stick, do no damage, and this thing is just something else. I don't know. But why was this fight so horrible? Honestly, there are a few reasons. The first one I kinda spoiled already, but it is also kinda obvious. Le stick. Do I have to say more? I mean, look at this character. I'm fighting with a damn stick. Then the second reason is just this stupid ass horse. Not because it's so difficult to get him down from it, because once you find those little blue fingers in the other world and you explode them in the right moment when he's close enough, he will just fall down from the horse and then it's easy peasy. But the annoying part is that until phase 2 it takes so much time. He runs around, he runs away, and then he runs at you, and if you miss that blue thingy, the whole thing starts over. And it's just annoying because you have to wait so long. Only that when he comes down, he just fucks you up. And of course, with the amounts of deaths I had, I spent an eternity waiting. Just waiting and watching him running around. And when I managed to finally get him down, I got a few hits in, and this dude flops back on his majestic horse, providing me with the pleasure of experiencing the same thing over again. So after like question mark attempts, I don't know exactly which attempt it was, I finally managed to get him down to phase 2. And from this point I managed it more and more often, until I could say, hey, the first phase isn't so difficult anymore. It's just damn annoying. So with that said, let the phase 2 begin. I realized pretty quickly there is no way out with a lucky attempt or some good hits. The only way through this boss is to learn his attacks and dodge everything. So I did, attempt after attempt after attempt. But it wasn't enough. At attempt X, I honestly don't know when exactly I did it, but I got an idea. Or rather, I noticed something, a little detail in my equipment I can have an influence on, which I completely forgot it exists. I can level up my weapon, so I can make at least a little bit of damage. But I thought, if I upgrade a weapon, then I should upgrade the stick. So I did that and went off to the Skyrast bridge. And once there I realized, well, you need vigor to do that. And you know, the Hashi boy was a little snitch, so I had nothing left. So I continued my journey with farming, and the farming escalated a little. I got like 30 to 40k vigor, but that much vigor is a little overkill for a simple weapon upgrade, I would say, as I only need like 1 or 2k. So what did I do with the rest? Well, I could have upgraded my levels, but it somehow felt wrong, since I wanted to achieve it with my current state. So I just bought the consumables I had equipped, some Brio Stones, ammo packs and some minor fire salts. And if we look closer now, my damage is still shit. But fighting with it, I for the first time saw a possibility to just rage quit. Because the lowest I got him in over 40 tries wasn't even below 1/4 of his life. So I thought, how the fuck should I do this? But then, on attempt 46, I somehow kept my coolness and this happened.
You fucker! Yes! 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 Oh! This fucking horse, man.
I really did it. And what is the one plausible thing to do after this life-sucking boss? You are right. Run. Okay, before I ran, I had to finish my objective, which was cleansing my first beacon. Since I didn't know anything about this game at this time, I guessed that those big red things lighting up the sky all around the world and turning into a bright light source when I cleanse them is a good thing and a good orientation of what my actual game plan is. So I just went with it. With that said, after that, I just ran. But once again, while playing the game, I learned, or rather quick, I didn't learn an important thing. Imagine this is the game speaking. Oh, Winnie, you really think you get a break? Fuck you. Fuck you, your hopes and dreams. That's basically what sums it up. As said, once again, I just ran, passing all the enemies to finally get a safe space. But the only safe space I got was this here. And honestly, I don't know why, but I was there for at least 15 minutes trying to kill them through that gate before I advanced. Maybe it stimulated my parasympathicus, giving my flight mode a little break, because I just enjoyed to do some stabbing attacks through this gate without the possibility of getting killed again, so it was kinda nice. But after all, who cares? I just advanced quite a while, until I finally passed all the enemies and got to the kinda sus looking area. An empty and long bridge and otherwise nothing, no vestige, no place for a seedling, so I thought, aight, let's go further, and of course, why the fuck not another boss fight. It kinda felt like a joke. I run an eternity, losing basically half my health potions, and then I have to fight a boss. And no place to spawn nearby. I honestly felt betrayed. So who would have guessed? I died. But honestly, he didn't seem so strong. First try and almost half his life was gone. So maybe I can do this. So I ran all the way back to him and actually can say for the first time, well, that was easier than I thought. Second try and I fucked him up. Then of course I used my seedling right there on the bridge and got back to the Skyrast bridge for some new decisions. And there, for my levels, I got 4 in strength and 3 in endurance. Then, for the next part, I found a little room, which is only visible if you enter the other world in this game. And there, you can apparently upgrade your lantern and buy some boss weapons and armor. I, of course, showed it to my girlfriend to just let her know and let her do her thing. So all in all, I lost my sexy headwear, got a new armor, and at last, I finally lost the useless shield and instead got this spear. I'm not completely happy with it, since I hate big and slow weapons, but I can't cry here. Because as long as the shield is gone, give me anything. And guys, look at my damage. Over 100 with one hit, is that a dream? But let's not lose ourselves in this fantastic world. Because the next part is a little sucky, so I give you a quick summary. After the bridge, where I have beaten the runer, I ran a few meters, landed in this open area and died to the Lightreaper, a boss which seemed to appear throughout the game and just disappears again if you die. He also appeared at the first time after the tutorial boss, but I guess that was just the sequence, so I didn't even include it at that time. But I guess he comes more and more often into this game, so I thought I will just mention it. But after that I continued to just run through, because I finally want my next fucking vestige. So once again, from the bridge to the now open bossless area, then dodging those fire boys till I reached a ladder. Up, and then the other side down, and I entered the burning sensation called Lower Calrath, where I finally got my well-earned next vestige. And just a few meters after that, of course, I got my next boss, the infernal lady here. But once again, pretty useless. I died once and then on the second try I got her down, which was honestly kinda nice, because I finally get some things done, and it was a little rewarding to have a few weaker boss encounters now. It felt like I finally get a little bit further into the game, which is just a nice feeling. And then after this lady, the next area I would say wasn't so special. I ran up a path, reached some more destroyed houses and managed to find a new vestige. The only thing in this area which isn't exactly worth mentioning, I just want to rant real quick. Because look at this fucking shit. Why is there this lady again, the boss I killed right now? Who in the hell thought it would be a good idea to transform a boss into a normal appearing enemy? First off, for me personally, it immediately takes out the accomplishment I did with beating her, and second off, it's kinda cheap, I would say. Reusing a boss just to get a stronger normal foe, that's honestly a little ridiculous. But those are just my thoughts. But it is fine, I shouldn't complain too much here. I continued through this area and honestly I didn't know where I went, so I can't put out a comprehensive path here. But I suddenly ended up in this big open area with a new flower bed to plant a seedling, so I guess there was a boss coming. I planted the seed and ran forward, and this is where I made contact with this huge progeny dude thing. I don't know what this is, but it is something. And, of course, as expected, I died a few times. But after some time, I got to the second phase, where this boy got a little funny. Because I guess he likes playing the floor is lava with me. Just look at the ground, everything is lava, what should I do? So I just ran away to the top and tried to fight him. But I realized pretty quick that this dude one-shots me with all of his attacks, so what should I do? It's kinda difficult up there. And down there I just get burned, so what option do I have left? And this is where an idea struck me. I could use some throwables. Basically the first time in the playthrough I dared to touch this equipment. I used the knife, I used the holy grenade, but they did basically nothing. So I thought like, okay, well. Then I used the spear and it did something. Not much, but a little over 100 damage. So I thought, is this really worth a try? Because I basically will use up all my ammunition pouches for this boss. But otherwise, I don't know how I should beat it. So, you know, I just went with it. Because at this point, I just wasn't in the mood of learning another attack pattern right now. So I just tried. I can't show you the whole fight because I wasn't recording. I don't know why, because I just stopped the recording and forgot to turn it on again. But luckily I still had Shadowplay active, which saved the last 1.5 minutes. I mean, honestly, you didn't miss anything, since this fight only contained me running from one end to the next, throwing a few spears and repeating. But it is a little funny. Cheesing a boss is always pure comedy. And if you see the sequence here, this is basically the whole fight. I don't know how long it took, probably half an hour, because I just ran around and did a little bit of damage and then repeated the process, so nothing special here. So 9 attempts later, I got him down and got a not so well earned new vestige. But come on, I deserve a little bit of an easy time. And with the new vestige, I got 3 new levels. And this time, agility. And the equipment remained the same, so nothing special here to mention. So after that, I just followed away until I reached the next area. The Sunless Skein. A kind of cave and tunnel system, which was quite confusing at first sight. But you know, I found a beautiful map, so no problem. I just have to find a shown lever, I guess, and then some kind of opening, something in this direction. So I went my way and immediately forgot what I was looking for. So I just explored. But ultimately I ended up by the lever and remembered, oh, well, that must be the thingy I was looking for. So I just pulled it, then the door opened in front of me and I just advanced further until I reached this kind of open watery area, which from a certain position looked like the thing shown on the map. So one quick change of words and I could cross to the other side and find my next vestige. So I guessed I was on the right track. And from there it was just a quick run into one direction until I reached a huge open area. And as we all know it, of course, the next main boss, which in this case was the Skinstealer. A cool themed boss, but not really that strong. I mean, of course I managed to die a few times. But at attempt 5, I just demolished him. And with him demolished, I got rewarded with an elevator. An elevator into a new world. One which I didn't have any clue what to do next. So you know, when in doubt, just make a new decision. So Skyris Bridge once again, and for the levels I got 3 more in agility, which was kinda bland, I heard afterwards, because there was a specific weapon she wanted me to carry. It seems like the enemy I suffered the most to is the one I should scavenge and carry on with me, hitting enemies with the sound of the hushed saints harbored. That was also the biggest change here. I sticked with the stick, haha. I got a new armor, but otherwise nothing new, I guess. But with the new weapon equipped, I need to see that stuff in action. So back to Upper Calrath I went, the area after the long ass elevator. And there I saw my next goal, a big red glowing something. So I ran there and witnessed some weak ass enemies to test that new weapon out. And I have to say, I fucking hate it. Look at how slow that attack pattern is. It's just horrible, it's so slow. But to stop my flaming, I continued my way until I reached that red thing and glanced my next beacon. And it really felt like I was coming closer and closer to... I don't even know what, I just came closer. And after that, I just didn't know where to go next. So I went back down to the elevator and saw there's entire other world down there, which I followed, but it was kinda a dead end for me. So I did the forbidden. I looked it up. So the World Wide Web placed me right at the start of the game to one of the first vestiges. And there was a closed door, one which I suddenly had the key for. And if I'm honest, I have no clue when and where I got it from. Did I beat a boss? Maybe my girlfriend interacted with an NPC in Skyrim and got it? I don't know. But who cares? I just went with the vibe and went through the store. And this is where I encountered the lovely Congregator. I don't know how to pronounce him, but we don't need his name to show that he's an S. Because he's a boss, once again, with a completely idiotic design. Maybe it's just me, but a boss where I have to kill 3 damn dogs, which in addition to that have this other world safety thingy which I have to destroy first before I can kill the dogs, before I can fight the real boss himself, isn't so fun. But I can change it, so I went in and of course I died. And suddenly there is an additional big entity I have to fight with as I entered the other world. So after my first 2 deaths I had enough. I just assumed that this is gonna be an 30+ death fight again. But, to my surprise, it went smoother than I thought. I just ran fast to that blue thing, destroyed it, killed the dogs, and the boss itself was pretty predictable. His attacks weren't that difficult to dodge. So the 5th try and I was done. And honestly, it felt great. At that point, I wasn't sure if my gear was just getting good.
What the fuck?
Or if I did finally learn how to play the game a little bit more calm, without stressing out too much. I stick with the last. I mean, I have to get some confidence here, I have to say. But with Congregator decimated, I entered a really cool new area. The Thief of the Chill Curse. A huge snow area which had the next beacon for me to cleanse. And with each beacon comes of course another boss fight. The Hollow Crow. One of the best and most badass looking bosses so far. But from the battle itself, pretty underwhelming, which is sad, because it was a fight where I don't even fight the boss itself. Just the main mirror image of the boss and just endless minion spawning. Judge me, but I think this isn't that incredible. So the fight really was a little flat. I basically just ran away from all the minions, made 1 or 2 hits against the boss's mirror image thingy and then repeated the process. 3 phases and with each spawning stronger minions. But not really a bigger challenge, since you could just run past all of them, make your hits and repeat the process, so yeah. With that said, I still managed to die 9 times. But on attempt 10 I finally managed to pluck that bird.
Oh my goodness. Don't say there's something else going on. Come on. Oh. Oh. I almost completely overlooked this. 18,000. Whoa. That's not so bad.
So after that I glanced at the beacon, gave myself a high five and looked up in the sky, wondering where to go next. Ah, right, I remembered. I need to get to the next vestige. I need some more levels. So I got 4 more in strength once again. But no change in equipment, which is kinda sad, because I really don't want to keep this weapon any longer, but it's fine. But after that, I really didn't know where to go. So after that, I just warped from location to location and I realized that there was one area I completely ignored earlier in the game. Just cause of the main reason of being too weak. The Belt Rise. Another area accessed through the Pilgrim's Birch. The one where gravity is a best friend, if you remember. I honestly forgot it exists. My main thought was it wasn't essential to go there since I advanced this far in the game. But I guess I believed wrong. So once there, I followed the area. Let gravity do its thing once again, but rather soon witnessed something amazing. Something unpredictable. I encountered the next boss. The sacred resonance of tenacity. And just look what happened.
Oh my god. This is my first try. What finally once?
I fucking did it with my first try. Honestly, I didn't expect that phenomenon to happen in my playthrough. But well. Many the Lord this time did not fall. So with that energy boost, I floated through the following area until I reached the following spot. And from there on, I kinda confused myself. First, this door here was closed. So what is the next thing I should do? Well, find the key. And yes, I exactly did that. I searched and tried everything in this whole area, but I just couldn't find it. And the main thing here is I just ignored the most obvious thing. The big enemy right in front of this door. Because of course, he carries the key. So I battled him, defeated him and got the key and advanced further. So I entered the next area and got stuck there for at least an hour. Not because I couldn't beat the enemies, but I just couldn't find the next passage. I only knew I need to find a new key because there was another door I had to open to advance further. So I basically once again ran into every last corner, tried to find anything useful, but I had no success. The only thing I found at some point was this ladder here. Must be good for something, right? So with that in mind, I just tried to get there somehow. So from the vestige, I sprinted through this house, got out, ran along this outside area, stopped for a quick minute, cheesed a few enemies. But then continued running until I was here. I focused on the stairs far in the distance, and once there I realized I was just unperceptive, because I already was there in my effort of finding the key. I just didn't notice that there was an entrance, or just ignored it. There are many possible reasons for this. So I went in, placed my seedling, pushed down the ladder I only saw from the bottom prior, and then changed world and finally a beautiful ladder appeared, showing me the way to a new path. So I followed, sprinted over some rooftops and entered a building, and finally I could do some parkour. I jumped, and I was on the ground. And right at the end of the room there was something sparkly, a shiny thing. So Winnie must pick it up. And so I did, and well. It was the key I was searching for. So I picked it up and ran away, opened this door here and Pow! I'm back at this open area again. Only a few meters more and success. Alohomora. The door opened for me. And only a few meters away from it, the next boss encounter. Fuck yes. A boss on a bridge? Sign me up. I mean, since the last bridge boss didn't ruin me, he can't be so difficult, right? I mean, look at him. The only thing he does is like farting a huge cloud, trying to poison me. I mean, I'm a little jealous because I can't poison him anymore for whatever reason. Probably because he's like the poison god or something. But it is fine, it just turned into a good old smacking fight and it worked. At attempt 5, after I learned his attacks, I just did some charge attacks, removed the parasite, made a crit, and then for the last bit, honestly, I have to be honest here, I was a little rude. I just two-handed my weapon and just poked him until he was finished off. Because, I mean, I don't know, I just wanted to advance further into the tower in front of me. It was just so, I was just so close.
Okay, nice. Nice.
But you know, after I unblessed him, I ran to this amazing elevator. Got all the way up and then just had to get all the way back down in this tower here, which was actually pretty fun. I like those areas where you just jump down, do a little bit parkour, you have just a little bit of a mental break from everything. It was fun. And after I got all the way down and reached the bottom, of course, I reached the next flower bed for a seedling. And what exactly does that mean? Exactly. Boss time. There is always a boss waiting for you around the corner, and this time it wasn't any different.
You would defile this sacred place with this horror.
With your very own hands.
Monster, does your blasphemy know no bounds?
If only it were that easy. We have a guest.
Another sinner.
A human-like fighter who does some holy damage. Me likey. Because I didn't expect something extremely special, and I was right. Because there were some normal swings, then some holy damage attacks and so on, but nothing really crazy. So, hell yeah, that's a fight for me. And it showed, because those attacks aren't so hard to dodge, and I got him pretty far in attempt 1. And actually, I got him so far that I fucking did it. So fuck yes. Or rather, fuck me. I learned quickly afterwards because Reinhold came.
Oh, darkness, brother.
Why did Reinhold show up? I don't know who he is, but I don't like him. Because why is there a second boss? A second phase? Okay. If I get the first boss to halve his life and then he transforms into a second boss, yeah, right. That's something I know. But what is this trend with the two bosses? If I don't expect it, I don't like it. So Reinhold is just... it's just an ass. But I had to calm down myself a little bit here, because the first boss wasn't so hard after all, so it's just a little bit annoying, because if you lose some health potions, then the second phase gets exponentially harder, because Reinhold was something else. I mean, just look at him. He's just a little dog, he's escalating, his attacks are just stressing me out, and then I'm just misclicking my dodges. It's just a bad combination. But, you know, at some point you learn everything. And after all, I realized he wasn't as horrible as he seemed at first. Of course, his attacks were pretty stressful, but they were kinda cooler, I must say. And at attempt 11, it got intense. My poison escalated, my dodges were on point, and the battle was pretty fun. And what do I mean with fun? I did it. I actually did it. Winnie for the win, and no time to waste.
I said be quiet.
Off I went to the elevator, got all the way up and glanced my next beacon. Then once I got out of the tower again, a quick run back over the bridge and opened the door, spoke to this dude and advanced. And not long and I reached this nice looking area. Pretty, I must say. So I thought, if I reach a pretty area, there must be a vestige close by. I mean, look at my vigor. That's some nasty stuff here. And that means I get many levels, which means it maybe gets easier. But as of now, we all know that the sentence of thought ends in suffering. Ursula. Or should I say Lusula? There's a joke somewhere. But who cares? First try and poof. She was gone and I advanced. She was pretty useless, not a special fight. So I advanced a few meters and Vestige Reno. A little decision took place because I got a lot of vigor, you know? So 8 levels into strength. Then I got some new sexy headwear.
And the hat, like he looks buff and stuff, but look at him. Look, do you love him? Like,
A few more throwables like a javelin, then some spirit thingy which I have no clue what it does, and no change in weapon, which I have to say is a little bit sad because I finally want to have a weapon I can play with, a fast weapon. I need a short sword or even a dagger, even if I just have to stay close to the enemies. Just something which can attack fast so that I can dodge afterwards. Because I'm just dying so many times because the attacks are so slow. But okay, enough from this. I can keep it so at least my upgraded stuff won't get thrown out. So I can do some damage. So it's not that bad. But you know, you understand my thought. Maybe in the next playthrough I will get a little bit better equipment if I do it once more. I don't know, sure. Let's see. But yeah, with my new gear and levels, I followed the instructions of the map I found. So I ran up this castle. There I found a new seedling area and opened up this huge door. I went in and there accidentally interacted with an artifact thingy. I spawned an optional boss, died 2 times to him, but then I got him down. He wasn't that special, so I won't include him, just a quick mention here. So after that there was an opening in this room, which I went through. It led me upwards, then again outside on the other side, and finally to another new vestige. And after that I found another huge gigantic door, even bigger than the one prior, but this one of course does not budge 1 single centimeter, so I searched a little. I went here, I went there, but ultimately I found this floating pathway in the other world. I followed it and made a little detour around the other side, made some fancy moves and got into the area above the huge door. And once I was there, I found a chest, and inside the chest, my well-earned church key. So back down in a quick manner, and through the door I was on my way to my second worst boss in this playthrough, the Judge Cleric.
will know peace.
But I have to say, not horrible as a boss, just horrible with the amount of deaths I had. Because the fight itself was lit, literally. Because he used holy once again, and later on a little bit of fire. So, you know, so the Judge Cleric really fucked me up. I had no chance.
I can't dodge.
I really couldn't finish her off. I got a good amount of damage in, but to get her down more than 3/4 of her life wasn't possible for me for quite some time. But then at attempt X, I finally did it. I really got her down, but just down. You know, that's always the thing. Of course, there is a second boss afterwards.
I will incinerate your soul with holy fire for this profanation. Lowly blasphemer!
Yeah.
And I just couldn't. I thought to myself, how should I do this? The first phase was like impossible for me right now. So, what should I do? So after like too many attempts, I did something. And don't judge me here, because the Cleric already does. I switched to two-hand again and found a legit working strategy. I just ran away. And I waited for her to make her move. Because sometimes she did this forward impale attack, and that was an easy dodge. And the cool part about here is that she stood still for 1-2 seconds, so I could hit her a few times. I did that on repeat, poisoned her, did it again, and success. I got phase 1 down pretty consistent. It took pretty long, but at least I got some potions for phase 2. But then phase 2, oh boy, that was stressful. I learned the patterns real quick, because they weren't that different from phase 1. But look at that stuff here. What the hell is that? So what was my strategy in this situation? Basically, just attack her, get that poison damage in, and then wait for this fire escalation to be over and repeat. And hopefully get at some point somewhere close. Oh, that was the run.
Radiance!
And with that strategy, it worked wonders. I mean, not wonders, because my final attempt was 37, which is quite a number. So at some point it has to work, and this was the attempt. So I did it.
You fucker!
And then I got the last beacon. And I honestly was just relieved. That animation here got me chills. But I shall not be a judge, because my feeling was completely off. There was yet another beacon I didn't notice. Or did it appear after that one? I don't know, if I'm honest. So I warped from vestige to find the right location. Tried to get as close to the beacon as possible. And it seemed to work, because suddenly I found myself in this huge arena encountering the Lightreaper for the third and, as it seemed, for the final time in this playthrough. And right away, I don't know what this guy's fucking problem was. He just escalated immediately, instant, the whole time, just spamming his attacks and freaking me out. I just wanted to get to that last beacon. And I have to say, I don't know how, I had no strategy, I just had a lucky attempt where I just dodged basically those attacks without any brain activity from my side. Then I got my poison damage in, he got on his dragon, back down and so on, and I somehow got in low enough. And then just look what happened. We fucking died at the same time. And oh my goodness, was I scared that it doesn't count. So a win is a win, and so I followed the red light. And not long after I ended up in Upper Calrath again. In front of me a little bridge and a blocked off door. Good sign, right? Yeah, you know, a blocked door can only mean one thing. Boss time. And this time some iron dude. And honestly this fight was straight up a little sad, because at this time I don't know if it's still there, but the game had some performance issues in some areas. And I think the main performance problem here was probably because it was such a small area with many explosive attacks from the enemy and so on, that I just had so many mini lags. So there was no way for a good fight. So I just tried my best, two-handed my weapon, used those fire swords, etc., and just hoped for a lucky attempt. That I maybe don't have as many mini legs as in a try before, and I can somehow finish him off. And so at some point it happened, but it was just a little bit sad, because maybe it would have been a cool fight otherwise, but I don't know.
Oh my goodness. Am I glad that we have a second life here? Occur! Unlock the gate, please.
After I've beaten him, I really sprinted further, because I've got so incredible much vigor, and I want those level ups. So after using my favorite strategy of running past all the enemies until I reached the next vestige, I warped back to Skyrim for the next level ups.
More life, I guess. 20. And I want him to be extremely strong. Yeah. Now let's keep this. Stick seems pretty good still.
Then a new javelin and a weird flask as throwable and a new ring. Other than that, some big fire swords and berries. So I was perfectly prepared for the next and final area. Premise Castle. And this area was in theory pretty cool, but in reality it was kinda tough, because there were many enemies. Many enemies, fire dogs, bigger mini bosses which do fire damage, etc. So it was a little frustrating to get through, because there's someone jumping from one corner out, killing you and so on. So all in all, a short summary here, since it really is a little confusing, and to get the feeling of this area right, it would take a little long and you should do it yourself. But short said, I have to get to the other side here. And to get there I had to find those little things which blocked the way to the other side. And once done, a path opened and I could advance further. Then after that I reached this crystal filled zone which blocked everything off. I killed everything there, plus the mini boss, and a path opened up and I got a new vestige. Then I finally got into the castle, where I had to follow the perfectly drawn map. Some stairs, some gears, a crystal, and then success, question mark, I didn't know how exactly I should do this, so I explored a little and found by accident this lever here by killing this mini-boss. I guess the lever represented the gear because the staircase in the distance began to spin, and I could follow its way up until I reached this bedroom area. From there I took 2 jumps down and I got to the crystal which was shown on the map. Then after following it a few meters I got to a pretty obvious looking boss encounter. Many steps, there must be a boss. So I thought for sure that must be the last boss of the game, or if not, there can't be much left, because I was now directly under the last beacon. At least I thought it was the last beacon. There always can be a surprise. So I went in this arena and I thought, well, is he representing me? Because I already cried a lot in this game, so why is he crying? I'm the poor boy here. So right away at my first attempt, epicness happened. Well. Then at my next attempt I realized just how much HP this boss has. It's completely insane. But even though he was pretty buff, at attempt 4 I got pretty far. Second phase actually, but that's also where it ended. But 4th attempt and getting him this low, it can't be so difficult to finish him off during the following attempts, I thought at least. But, you know, once again I was wrong. I don't know what I did wrong, but the next 6 or 7 attempts I came nowhere close. But then, later on, I got an attempt, then another attempt, where you could say I got more and more consistent. And then, once again, not. There was no consistency after all. But you know, at some point you have to get closer, and at that point, which was like attempt probably 18 or 19, I should have written it on my paper. But then I took a break, because it was just too much for me at that moment. And that break did wonders. As I came back, I died a few more times, of course I did. But then, holy moly, attempt 25 happened. I fucking won.
Please. Oh my god. Fucking hell. Oh my. This game.
I really did it. So I went up to the throne, I checked everything out and interacted with this thing.
I look upon you with pity, my lost child. For you have been deceived and enslaved by forces who regard you as nothing more than an instrument through which they might enact their blasphemous will and prevent my rightful return. They speak of light while offering you nothing but blindness. Weak hypocrites relying on the malignant power
And through the
of
words I
unknown.
witnessed,
With
I
one breath, let
changed
the crying into another.
words, which was kinda essential so I can advance further. So I did it and this cutscene came. And then the final boss. Here we are, fighting our last battle, and I have to say right away, it was disappointing. Because every fight, every boss where I just fight minions is disappointing. But especially if it's like the last boss in the game. And I don't understand why a last boss isn't an epic fight itself. There should be no excuse to this, and I don't understand it, but okay. But okay, enough complaints, let's witness this fight. This huge dude induces the minions here with some fire magic. And every little one of them, if I kill them, they will deal damage to the boss. Or they are just mirroring the boss with a part of his brain, power, heart, whatever. They are dealing damage to the boss if I kill them. So the first 2 attempts ended in failure. But then the third was not that bad. I took my time and thought, oh, I'm gonna do this smart now and be careful. But suddenly I noticed a heart pounding. Not mine, but the boss's one. And with it, after some time, the minions were gone. And I thought, eh? But then I just exploded. So this strategy didn't work because I can't take my time here.
Okay.
But after that, I had an idea. At my 5th attempt, as soon as I entered, I just pre-hit some enemies, so I thought maybe it's easier to kill them, and maybe their life stays half if I hit them prior. And to my pleasure, it stayed exactly like that. One last fight, one last battle, one last stupid boss.
They were capable of guiding themselves.
Okay, wait.
Sword
You have to die. Die.
other beings claimed godhood. Where
You have to
are
die.
what of honors? Open arms. For I love all of my children.
Oh my god, die.
Listen to me.
And I managed to kill him off. And I'm
Was this the last one?
done. I did it.
Ah! Fuck yes. I was just way too slow.
I look upon you with pity, my lost child. For you have been deceived.
What now?
Enslaved
What now? What
by
now? What now?
forces who regard you as nothing more than an instrument through which they might enact
Come on.
their blasphemous will and prevent my rightful return.
Okay. Wait.
Did I do it? Oh.
Oh my goodness.
That was the final thing, and I didn't know how I felt. It was just a nice feeling, but it also was weird, because the last boss was kinda not that hard, I would say. So, yeah. But let's
Tell me
get
so.
to our conclusion here. I will keep it short since the video is already way too long. So what about the game? First off, I liked it. It was a good Souls-like overall. I mean, some bosses or just normal enemies are just stupid in my opinion, but they are in the minority, so overall it's fine and I enjoyed it. The only enemy I really lost my shit was this stupid item protector surprise fucker, always appearing when I try to pick something up. I have just no words for this. It was just... that was killing me the most, more than any other enemy. I just wanted to pick something up and this fucker comes out. There was no need for this. Then the challenge itself, it was really fun. But I don't think I will do it like this in a first playthrough again, because I at least want to know some things. What to do, where to go, because sometimes it was a little frustrating getting one hit by every normal enemy and I'm not even running in the right direction and so on, so it sometimes was just a little bit too much. But that's a thing for the next time. Then maybe I want to plan it a little bit better, since my girlfriend wasn't home lots of the time and the microphone sometimes wasn't picking up her voice that well. That was just my bad. But after all, it was my first attempt of doing this kind of content, so the next one will definitely be different. Hopefully better, and I really hope faster. Because it took me like over 30 days to just finish this game, making this video, editing and so on, because I just didn't have enough time. So that was definitely an absolute horrible pacing from my side, which hopefully will be better in the next attempt. But you can tell me what you think about this kind of videos, if you are even still here, of course. That's the main part. Tell me if you're still here. You can also tell me what kind of challenge ideas you have, what can I do better or different, should I do other games like Elden Ring or some older games or new games, I don't know, just something, because I'm thinking about it. So if anyone is still here, first off, damn man, congratulations, you really have a good attention span. And second off, thank you very much, and I hope I see you soon, and have a nice day, evening, whatever. I see you soon. Bye. And thank you. Bye.